Hi, this is Pastor Jackson with the Empowerment Broadcast. Thank you for joining us tonight on our show. Hey, do me a favor, share this video that others can watch in their leisure. Go to our YouTube page as well, and also click the subscribe button so you can be a subscriber, so you'll be notified, of the upcoming broadcasts that we got coming on. But thank you for watching us tonight, and we got a great show lined up for you tonight as always. About information, about how we can empower ourselves as people, and also your direction that God is taking you as an individual. What pathway is God directing you on? And so tonight broadcast is designed so that we can empower the people, so you can have more information, have more knowledge about some things. So I pray that you had a great day, a great week, and that you're experiencing things with God on a day by day basis, so you and I, can grow as believers. So tonight broadcast is really designed. Call your friends, call your loved ones. It's all about mental health. It's about transitioning from one location to another location. We got a guest on tonight that's been doing it for a few years. Got his hand down in the grind, understand what's going on, and we're going to really have a great broadcast tonight. So call your friend, call your loved ones, and come on out and share this broadcast tonight. You probably have seen the advertisement about the Ark of Hope there in Dallas, Texas, and what they're doing is having transitionals, from incarceration to mental health into society, how to get started again, and just bring a lot of hope. So tonight, without further ado, I'm gonna bring my guest on tonight with us tonight, none other than Ito Pute. Man, welcome to the show, my brother. How you doing? What's going on?
I'm well. How you doing, sir? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to be a guest on your show tonight.
Always, man. So you there in the Dallas location, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We're
So
here in Dallas, Texas. We've been here for 10 years running our program, Ark of Hope, here for 10 years in the Dallas, South Dallas area.
Okay, great, man. That's good news to hear. So the Ark of Hope, because if we don't get started, man, our time gonna get on by, and we gonna be talking about all kinds of stuff. But what is, man, the Ark of Hope? What is all that about, man?
Ark of Hope was founded in August of 2010 to serve a abandoned population in our community. The Ark of Hope major emphasis is providing housing for formerly incarcerated individuals who have a dual diagnosis of concurrent disorders of mental illness and substance abuse. And what we do is basically we provide housing for these folks that are coming back from prison, folks that are just homeless, that are on the streets, that are living in shelters, and folks that are returning from the county jail that don't have anywhere to go. So we provide housing for them, try to get them up, get the services going for them, get their mental health going, get their medication going, and work with them with the substance abuse issues and with treatment programs.
Great, man, great. Because that's a big area now, right?
Yes, it is.
I hear a lot of times about mental health, man. A lot of times when a person is dealing with that situation, and they're on the streets, sometimes we'll get into that as well. But sometimes homeless and so forth and so on, and then the police officer are called out, not in a negativity to the police officer, but sometimes they're not trained to handle that individual. And sometimes
and that's what we see here, and we're dealing with this situation. They're just not trained to deal with the mental health issues that are going on with the individuals that are on the street that are homeless. And things happen where people become homeless, and we have those folks that go to the mental health clinics. And once you get out there on the streets, you don't have a way to get your medication. You don't have a way to keep that timeline going with your therapist, going back and forth, because you're homeless and you don't have that. So you fall further and further and further off the grid, and that's what truly happens.
Wow. And so a lot of times when a person is mentally ill, a lot of times they're just not functional, I guess, on a proper basis from our perspective, when we say proper or normal.
Exactly.
Exactly. Not to throw in the negativity to them, but they just got some disorders. And a lot of times we as normal, so to speak, don't know how to deal with that. Then so how did all this come about, man? Did you wake up one day and say, I want to do that? Or do you have a go meet Jesus moment? What happened?
Well, and that's what I call it. I call it my burning bush moment. I was actually enrolled, on the way to enroll in the law school when this all came about, and I was studying from the LSAT and doing some things, and I was working with my fraternity, and I was out feeding the homeless and doing some different things, and we were having a Christmas clothing drive, feeding the homeless and doing some more things. And I was sitting there and I was studying, and I just had this burning bush moment when God told me, these are the people that I want you to work with. And I was kind of stunned at that. And I kind of came back and say, are you really? I'm on the way to law school. I'm on the way to do great things. And the conversation went kind of like this. You can't have your way. You have to take my way. You can't have your thoughts. You have to have my thoughts.
Come on, man.
And after that conversation happened, a couple more incidents happened. Well, it became clear and clear that that's what he wanted me to do.
Wow, that's good news to hear, man. So a lot of times, when it comes to mental health, and do they also have kind of like a dual diagnostic? Sometimes mental health also with drug abuse, substance and
Right, and
substance abuse.
substance abuse, and that's what we get that co-occurring disorder for. That you're saying the dual diagnosis, exactly right. Where you have substance abuse mixed in with mental health, that's really a tough issue because you're going to have to treat both issues. You're going to have to treat that mental illness as well as that substance abuse addiction. And if a person is shrouded in substance abuse addiction, you're going to have to break that down before you can even start dealing with the mental health issue.
Wow, really, man? Because now I guess it's bringing more awareness to us now. But back in the day, you just kind of put them in an institution, a home, and gave them a couple of
Exactly.
pills. But now I guess because the population is growing more and more and more, and now you see
Yes.
more of it, and now it's just not the lady across the street. It may be my dad, it may be my mom. And so now what we do with this situation?
And that's what's going on, you know what I mean? After 3 decades of explosive growth, the nation prison population has reached more than 1 in 100 American folks or adults are in jail, age 20 to 34. And when you look at that and you say, wow, every 1 in 100 person is in jail, that's a lot of folks that's in custody.
Yeah.
And you're thinking about there's a lot of issues going on with that, and those folks coming back from jail, coming back to the community,
Right.
and they don't have any support when they get back from the community.
Okay.
And once that happens, you don't have anywhere to go. You don't have anything. That leads to homelessness. And then that leads to other issues that come along because you don't have anywhere to go. You don't have a home. You don't have anywhere to go. So you're on the streets. So you're going in this revolving door back and forth into the county jail because the police picking you up for trespassing. Police picking you up for panhandling. Police picking you up for this, picking you up for that. Just minor misdemeanor things. So you're doing that revolving circle over and over and over and over again, just in and out of jail. And basically you're costing the taxpayers and the consumers a lot of money just by going in and out of jail. Just say here in Dallas, it costs on average $76 a day to house an inmate in the county jail.
Wow.
And just today, our jail population is just over 5,000. So you got over 5,000 people in the county jail. And we have a large jail here. So it's right at $10 million a month just to run the county jail. So all of this stuff that I'm doing and other folks out here that's in the community doing like me, we're actually trying to help ease that burden on them. But we also want to make sure that we're providing a quality service so these folks won't go back in and out of jail. So we don't want a danger into the community, but we want to provide, services to help the people.
Right. So do you see a big difference when it comes to the race side of it? Is it more African American? Is it more white? Or is it a mixture? What do you see in that area?
When I first got into it, it was more of African American people. I
Okay.
would be honest with you because we're incarcerated more than any other population.
Right.
There are more African American people incarcerated than any other population. Now, what we saw with the opioid crisis is that we're seeing a lot of Caucasian or white people involved in this as well.
Okay.
Involved in the homelessness because they are burning bridges at home with their people. They're stealing, they're taking things, they're, just destroying the family unit. And the family's just saying, hey, if you burnt enough bridges with us, we're done with you. We're putting you out.
Okay. And so so what happens then? Now they're on the street. Now they commit crimes. Now they're going back to prison, going to jail. So it's a revolving door over.
And then revolving door again. They're getting involved with the same thing. And so they're having that issue. And then you're getting the homelessness in with them. They're homeless. They're on the street. And, they're using drugs and they are committing crimes to, feed that addiction.
Wow. So the name Ark of Hope, how did that come about?
The Ark of Hope came by because that's, again, that goes back to that burning bush moment, with Moses and the Ark. And I'm just providing some hope. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get everybody I can into this vehicle so we can get them from one spot to the other.
Yeah. So you got one house there, you got two houses, you got
I have a total of 7 houses now.
Oh my goodness, man, you
I have
busy.
7. Yeah, I have
Wow.
seven houses, and I said, like I said, with a population of around 60.
Okay.
And we're trying to move into the new direction. Like, so we just purchased this 3 acres of land. So we're trying to move to a new direction. And once we move to that different direction, we're trying to build a whole community there.
Okay, great. So you got a lot of support from the local area there. Is there people on board with you, trying to help you,
Yes,
support you?
yes.
Uh,
We have support with the community, with the county, the city. We're working with a lot of other nonprofits. We've signed MOUs with Journey to Wholeness. We've signed MOUs with other folks, and we're just trying to build a community. Trying to build a community. We're trying to put together a whole contingency in the community where we can actually work with these people. And right now, my nonprofit, my organization is a nonprofit. We don't have any government funding. We don't have anything. We're strictly a grassroots organization that's just working to do this.
okay. Because this is not to put a money number, but this is $1 billion industry.
Yes, it is. It is. And that's
a,
what I'm trying to get people to understand now that wants to get into this business. I'm like, you have to understand, it's not just a business. This is an industry.
right.
But when you do it, you're going to have to do it right. You just
Right.
can't get in it just to make money.
Right.
And if you get in it to make money, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
You have to get into it to provide a service. You really have to have a servant heart to get into this business, because you're going to work with some people that they're not trying to hear nothing you're saying. But you're going to have to keep working with them until they come around to where you're saying, hey, I hear what you're saying now. Like I said, we entered into an MOU with another service, God's Truest Miracles. And what we do strictly substance abuse at that house.
Okay.
There's nothing going on but substance abuse counseling and substance abuse work. We do AA meetings. We do NA meetings. We do that in-house 3 days a week.
Okay.
We're making sure that there's no substance abuse going on. We want to make sure that those clients are actually sober
Right.
and clean. We're making sure that they're working. We have a strict curfew for them to come in and out. We have the counselors doing drug tests on them weekly.
Wow.
So to make sure that they are getting where they need to be.
Okay, because you're dealing with people with mental health and also people coming out of incarceration all at the same
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Do you have houses set aside for mental health and some for incarceration, or is everybody kind of housed together?
It's according to what functioning level that you are on.
Okay.
Like I said, the house that I'm just talking about, the one that we have with God's Truest Miracles, what we do, those people are coming back from a strictly treatment program.
Okay.
So we have those in what they call like an aftercare unit. And there's in a strictly treatment program, there's no mental health going on there. That's all substance abuse treatment going on at that house.
Okay.
And then I have another house where if you're high functioning enough that you can work, strictly transitional.
Yeah.
That, you're just coming in, you're working, you're paying your money until you can get on your feet to move into your own apartment, get your own place, do what you need to do. That's all we do there. And then we have the other 4 or 5 houses that we work with the mental health folks that are coming back and forth from the state hospitals, people that are coming out of the psychiatric wards, people that are coming out dealing with the local mental health authority.
Okay.
So we're dealing with those folks in those houses.
Wow. So I guess you got. Do you ever run into people that's in the program and some do it seemingly well, and then some drop off the wagon? Do you have as well?
Definitely. Definitely. We run into that all the time, and we tell them all the time, we'll be here when you get ready.
Wow. So
we'll be here when you get ready.
Yeah, because
and the mental health program, we don't have a timeline on you staying there. I've had people that's been with me up to 6 years that still live there.
Yeah.
It's totally up to the individual. We don't sign a contract. We're not trying to keep you here. We're just here to help.
Okay. So is there a bridge? Because when a person mentally challenged and they burnt bridges with their families, and now you're the only hope. Is there is there a program where you're trying to bridge that gap again back with the family members, or is that all up to them?
Well, that's kind of all up to them. What we do most of the time when they get with us, the family member's done. They don't want to hear anything about them. They'll check on them every now and then,
Right.
but they're not trying to let them get back into their house because they've done everything that they've done there, and they've caused so much damage to the family unit. So they're like, we just can't deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
And you're on your own. Until you get yourself together, you're on your own. And the same thing with mental illness and mental health. A lot of people, that's really taxing on the family. If you have a person in your home that's mentally ill, everybody else is functioning on a different level, and they're adults, and this person should be an adult, and everybody's going to work. This person's at home. This person is tearing up the house. This person knocking holes in the wall. This person is doing this. I mean, it gets kind of taxing after a while. And the family's just, we're done with it. We can't deal with it anymore. And we're, you're on your own. Bye.
Wow. Well, and I guess a person that's mentally challenged, that just being burnt from the family, put outside, that in itself is a challenge.
Exactly. Because they're like, where am I going to go and what am I going to do now?
Yeah, because that's a challenge for a healthy mind person. Mama don't want me, daddy don't want me, and now I got mental issues. And so now what I'm gonna do, So
exactly. So I'm here.
So I guess you got counselors on. Well, what about the suicide rate? Attempted suicide. Do you deal with that as well?
I have been lucky and I've been blessed. I've never had anyone to commit suicide in my program.
Great.
Now I've had some deaths, and that's just a normal part of anything. I've had people that's in the program to just naturally pass away, maybe have heart attacks. Maybe, just die in their sleep or whatever, different things have happened. We have that. And, dealing with people, like I said, with a population that's consistent with about 60 to 65 people, and some are long-term that stay with us on a long-term basis. You do have that. You have people that just have health issues, because we're only not, dealing with, all of our people are not healthy people. I have people that are in wheelchairs, people that are, have diabetic issues, people that have kidney issues, people that are going to dialysis. I have home health nurses coming in seeing people because they're not in the best of health because they've been on the streets a long time and they have neglected their medical care.
Okay.
So you have people that are diabetic, people that have high blood pressure, people that have all type of medical issues.
Wow.
That you have to deal with. So these are not, the healthiest of the people that you can work with, the healthiest population that you can work with. These are people that, have had a lot of health issues. And a lot of these people that I deal with that are coming out of prison, you have to think they're older. They have been in prison 20 to 25 years.
Yeah.
That's why they have nowhere to go.
Right.
All the family members have passed on. Mom and dad have passed on. They have nobody, no connection with nobody. So they're just here. And like I say, some come out there in a wheelchair. They're wheelchair bound. They have a lot of issues. They have a lot of medical issues as well.
Wow, man, that's because a lot of times when you got issues and now no place to stay, nobody wants me, I'm not medicated right, all that just compound. And it wears on your mental state now. And so now you find people being secluded, isolated.
Exactly.
And now they're in their own zone, and now they just there because, like I told you earlier, I go to a prison here in South Carolina and teach a class down there, and I can tell the impact that we're making just by going. But at the same time, because everybody that's mentally challenged, everybody that's incarcerated are not bad people. There's some good people.
Not at all.
There's some good people that are there, but just did some bad things, made some bad choices.
Yeah, exactly.
But society doesn't view them that way, because before I started going to institution and teaching the class, I was afraid of inmates because what you see on TV. All you see on TV is somebody getting
on TV and what you hear.
That's it. Yeah. Somebody getting shanked, somebody's ear getting cut off. But once you're in the environment and start working with them, you see a whole different side of that.
Exactly.
And so now it kind of pulls you into that, and now you say, how can I help you even more? So go ahead.
And you're right, and that's our goal. We're trying to help more. We've had people that have came through our program that are married now, have their own families now, that are doing a lot of different things. We have people that are working, they have careers now, that they wouldn't have had unless they had the support that we provided them to get on their feet and get going where they need to go. Because in my program, we provide 3 meals a day. We provide transportation to and from, doctor's appointments, parole appointments, visits, things like that, and healthcare. We make sure that everyone is healthy. If they have Medicaid and Medicare, we're making sure that they have a home health care and attendant come in, checking on them, make sure that they're okay, making sure that their medications is right, putting the meds in a med minder. We want to make sure that they're healthy.
That's great, because to get somebody, from that level, I'm just going to use a scale for example. If they're already in a negative, just getting them back to level 0 is a challenge.
Man, that's it. That's it. And once you can get them to that baseline there, you can start working from there.
Yeah, because now it brings them some hope. Somebody care about me.
Exactly.
Somebody's there to listen at me. Because a lot of times when I go to the institution, a lot of times just having an ear. Because I know for the institution side, the place I go to is a male institution. So, from when you got female officers, the males are already challenged from that standpoint, because the woman is telling me what to do on a consistent basis. So a lot of times I go there and just be an ear, and they'll fill my ear up. And there again, everybody there is not trying to run a scheme or run a game. And a lot of times we think inmates, all they want is to a scheme, a game, but not all of them. So in your environment, I'm sure you have to have an ear as well to hear, beyond what they're talking about, and actually see that person, and how can I deal with that person. So it's easy for you to create that bond then with people, right?
Exactly. When I leave in the morning and I go by all the houses, I will. I sit, and most of my time I spend just sitting, like you say, just sitting and talking and listening to people, just talking to them about what's going on with the day, what their goals are, what are you trying to do, where are we going from here, how better can we serve you? Of course, there are a lot of issues and a lot of complaints, so I hear all those issues and hear all those complaints about what my staff has said. Somebody on my staff has done this and said that they didn't treat me right. So, I hear all of that, and I listen to all of that, and also, just what are they trying to do? Where they're trying to go with life, and they're trying to work, they're trying to do this. What barriers that they have that we can help break down to get them to where they need to be.
Yeah. So how many staffers there on your team?
I have 4 administrative people and 5 line staff.
Wow, that's great. And to be in that environment, you got to be passionate for people. You got to have a heart to help. You can't be this hardcore drill sergeant, good, and because we all made mistakes, man. Everybody, there's some things we did not pass. We should be a mental case, but by the grace of God, therefore, so you can't really put people down because of their situation. So people on your staff, I guess that's one part about becoming on your staff.
And it's working with the staff. Is we bringing people on, and we have to work with them and let them know what our goals are for the people, and work, because again, our clients could get on your nerve. I mean, really, they can hit that nerve real easy and real quick. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to talk to you in the most respectful way. Sometimes they're not going to talk, and I have to remind my staff, what purpose are we here to serve? Sometimes they get a little, dismayed working with folks, and and I'd be like, hey, you have to remember why we're here and what we're doing.
Absolutely, because
it's not about us. It's not about us. It's about our staff that we're working with. It's about the clients, not about us.
So, are you? Is all the houses full? You got room?
Well, we have room on a recurring basis. Like I said, we don't make anybody stay.
Okay.
You're free to leave anytime you want to leave, and sometimes we have to put people out.
Okay.
Hey, you can't stay because we have house rules.
Okay.
You have to follow the house rules. You can't steal. You can't, no racial thing, no name calling, no fighting, no drugs, no things of that nature. Just basic house rules. And if you're violating those rules, then we ask that you leave.
Wow. And so I guess you got to have some discipline behind that, right? And be able to stand up, because, somebody now, one of the clients is having a bad moment, but you still got to, hold to the rules. So when a person is homeless, that go right into crime almost. It kind of points
Yes.
them back in a direction, going back into the prison system. And the
Mm-hmm.
prison system itself is another $1 billion industry,
Oh,
and
yes,
it
definitely,
takes a
definitely,
lot. It takes more
definitely.
to take care of the inmates than to send a person to college,
Exactly.
you
And
know?
and that's and that's another thing that we're trying to break that. We're trying to break that cycle of them going in and out of prison. We're trying to break that cycle of them going in and out of the local county jail. And we're working with the folks that's on the city council. We're working with the folks that make the laws here in the local city saying, hey, just because a person's doing this, let's look at doing something else and let's look at some type of diversion instead of taking them straight down to the county jail. Let's put something else up because what we're doing right here is not working. If every month this person is going to go to jail, then we're not doing what we need to do. If time he get out, he's going to be right back here on the corner soliciting. He's right back here at the 7-Eleven, begging for money or trespassing or in the store stealing or whatever. Okay, we're not doing something right. We as a society is not doing something right.
Right.
So we got to come up with some type of diversion program to keep this from happening. Or people with the substance abuse issues. If we are not doing this and doing it, then we're not doing what we need to do.
Man, I was looking at the information you sent me. Here it says, I think this is on page 9. It said homelessness is not just a public safety issue, but a
Right.
public health and community issue.
It
Talk about
is.
that. Talk about that for me.
Well, again, like I said, with public safety, we don't want to just say we're not going to just take anyone to jail. We want the public to feel like they're safe. If someone is out there committing a crime, we want to make sure that they are held accountable for that. But we also want to put some things in and components in the components in the community that this doesn't happen. We don't have to go to jail. We can have some type of diversionary program to help this person with whatever these needs are that he's out here stealing to do,
Mm-hmm.
Like we're saying, February 2019, there were 341 unduplicated homeless people booked into the jail with an average of 37 days in jail per person.
Okay. Okay.
So Dallas County spent $572,880 on that.
Wow.
Just to house those homeless people.
Okay.
So we're not trying to undermine public safety by saying let's not take them there, but we also trying to say, hey, we could take this $572,000 and do something different with that.
Okay.
We could come up with some programs, some diversionary programs to say, hey, we can keep these people out here.
Yeah.
And also on the health issue that you're talking about, especially with COVID going on right now.
Yeah.
Homeless people, they getting together, they congregating, they doing this. That COVID is spreading,
Wow.
wild in that community right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're not socially distancing. They are not wearing masks. They're not doing this. So the COVID is actually, ravaging that community right now. And you have other issues, like you say, with the health issues. If you're not getting your medical needs done, medical needs met, so you're using right now the ER as a doctor's appointment.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to see the doctor until you're in distress. So you're in the ER now.
Yeah.
It costs more to go to the ER than it is maybe a regular doctor visit, maybe $100, to go to that. Now you're going to the ER, you're spending, $2,000 or $3,000 in the ER.
Wow. Wow. And so go ahead. Go ahead.
So if we can get some type of medical in the community where these people can go in and get a checkup, you go in and get your diabetic medications. You can go in and get your high blood pressure checked.
Uh-huh.
You can get that stuff monitored in the community instead of waiting until you're in a crisis and now you're in the ER.
Yeah. Because a lot of times that just going to keep adding the dollar amount up over and over
Exactly. The
and
dollar
over.
amount just keep going up, and that costs the taxpayer like me and you.
Yeah.
We have to take that tab. We're paying for that.
Yeah.
Because if I'm homeless, I don't have any insurance.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. I'm gonna go to the hospital, and the hospital cannot deny seeing me.
Correct. But the homeless person don't get the bill. We get the bill.
Right. We get the bill. Exactly. That's it. Exactly.
Yeah. And so
exactly.
So if you can do what you're doing on a bigger scale,
Mm-hmm.
it'll save the taxpayers millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah. And
We can save millions of dollars, and that's our goal. And and that's what I try to let everybody know. Our goal is not to just save them. Our goal is to save us.
yes, yeah,
Save everybody in the community. We are trying to be a community-centered agency or organization to where we're helping on both sides. If we can help this person get a job, okay, well now he's not on getting food stamp. He's not
right,
getting this type of check. He's working now. Now
yeah,
he feels good about himself. He got pride. He's doing this. Hey, next thing you know, he's bought a car. Next
yeah.
thing you know, he got a place to stay. So he's stimulating the economy as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
it's
actually,
helping everybody.
yeah. So he's actually giving back to the community, and
Exactly.
so that's one
Exactly.
less person that we got to, in a sense, kind of take care of, or the state
Exactly.
has to take care of. So now, the more people you do that, and then, but look at the individual, how he's changing or how she's changing.
Exactly.
And now,
Exactly.
now it's changing the generations. Now
Hmm.
I can become a better husband, a better father, and a better wife, and so forth and so on. So in your program, is it all men, is it all women, or you got a mixture of what?
I have a ladies' house, and one of my houses is all ladies. I don't have them together. I have them separate, but I do have a ladies' house.
Okay, okay, great.
And that bring on a whole different dynamics of dealing with things. I tell everybody all the time. I say, boy, these ladies will drive you crazy, okay? And it's not that, they just have different needs, different issues.
Yeah,
They have a lot of different issues and a lot of different needs. Just being female or being, whatever is going on with that issue. I only have one house for females. I did have a co-head house at one time, but I learned quickly from that that's not the way to do this.
okay, okay.
That's quick. That's really not the way to do this. I thought with them being adult and everything, we could do a co-ed house, but
No, yeah,
no,
yeah,
that's not the way to do this. That's not
yeah.
the way to work with this population. That's not the way to do it. So you just have an all-female house, and most of them there are actually my longer average of stay people. I have people there that they're in their 60s and 70s.
Wow, really?
That they've been with me forever. I mean, they're just not going anywhere. They're comfortable with being there. Their needs are being met. They're okay.
Wow, man,
And
that's
they're very
amazing.
settled. Yeah, my
So,
female house is very settled. Very settled.
so the people that's been there for that long a time, the family doesn't reach out to them, or they not reaching to the family, or what?
They'll visit, and that's about it. They're
Okay.
happy that they're stable. They're happy that where they are,
Yeah.
and they're okay with them being there,
Yeah.
and that's it. And I've had some that don't have any contact with family at all. And because of the mental health stuff, they don't remember family.
Wow, really?
They don't know who their family are. You ask them for a mama name, they have no clue. You ask them
Man,
for a dad name, that they have no clue. No sisters, no brother, they don't have any information.
wow, wow.
And if you
So,
don't have that birth certificate or social security number, it's hard to track that information down.
yeah, yeah. So you become their family. The house is their family.
Exactly.
That's their residence.
Exactly.
So I live here
They're-
now. This is me.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
it. And that's what we try to provide. We provide a family atmosphere
Okay.
for our folks. We provide a true family atmosphere. We only have between 7 to 8 people that's in a 4-bedroom home.
Okay.
So you have a true family atmosphere there.
Okay.
Where you have someone that's coming in, someone's cooking. You have different assignments, people doing different things. Everybody clean, everybody have a chore list. So it's just basically like a family. We all living here together.
Wow. Wow. So you just have one lady house and the other 6 are men. Is that because
I mean,
you have more men in the mental health issue, or you
no,
just got that?
it's just that I just don't want to work with any, that's enough women for me to work with.
Okay. Okay. We'll leave right
That's
there.
enough women. That's just enough women for me to work with. And again, you have when you have that population of women, you have a lot of dynamics going on with them. They're dating people that's outside the home. They're doing this. They're doing that. Then you have some substance abuse issues with that, and substance abuse issues with females. It's hard to deal with because they hit the streets, they're gone.
Yeah.
And people are not taking care, but people are abusing them and using them, and it's just tough. And you caring for them and trying to make sure that they're okay. It's tough. It's really tough.
Wow, wow. I guess so. So you got to be eyes and ears. You got to be sharp. You got to kind of hear between the stories to
Yes.
a point.
Right.
You know,
Right.
a kind of what's going on. And so I guess you got people. Do you have some people sometimes trying to get over on the system, get over on
All
you?
the time.
Yeah,
All the time.
yeah,
All the time.
yeah.
All the time.
But you,
That's a daily occurrence.
okay, okay, okay,
You know,
okay.
because you have to remember who you're working with.
Absolutely.
You know, we Christian, we believe in God, but we still have to remember the people that we're working with.
You're right
Because some
about
of them
that.
don't have the same ideals, some of them don't have the same values, some of them don't have the same attitudes that we are. We're
Right.
dealing with sometimes a group of nothing but takers. They're not givers, they're takers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That's
you know,
what's
they're survivalists, and that's how they've been living the last 20 years, is just surviving.
absolutely. Yeah,
And
that's
so
one
they're trying
thing.
to prey on anybody that they can prey on.
Yeah, and they do a good job at it if they can. That's one thing.
Exactly.
That's one thing about the training we take. We do in orientation when we go to the prison. One thing is you have to remember where you are. You're not at a
You
Boy
got to
Scout camp.
exactly.
You're not at mama.
Exactly.
You're not at the cookout. You are coming to
Exactly.
you're coming to an institution. So there's a reason why people are
Exactly.
here. So you got to be aware,
Hmm.
of where you are. But sometimes when you get to know people, if you're not careful,
Hmm.
you can almost let that guard down a little bit
Exactly.
because you
Exactly.
because
And it's the same thing here. You know, once you get to know them, you know, I talk to them, I shake their hand, I hug them, I talk to them, but in the back of my mind, I still remember who I'm working with.
right.
And it's not a, you know, a condemnation on them. It's I'm still going to help you. I'm still going to, but I'm going to keep my radar up on
Yeah.
what's going on.
Right. 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 So
And you have to do that.
yeah. So has
And
it?
I tell my female staff the same thing because I do have female staff as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
So
know, so you have to keep your guard up and keep your radar up.
yeah. Has it changed your mental view of people now for as mentally ill and incarceration since you've
Yes,
been working with that? I mean,
definitely. Oh, definitely, 100%,
yeah.
100%. Like you say, when we were growing up and when I was young, you know, you had somebody that we didn't say they had mental illness. We just said they were crazy.
Yes.
They crazy.
Hey,
You know
crazy.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Such and such got a crazy aunt. You know what I
Yep.
mean? They got a crazy uncle. You know, that's crazy such and such. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how we left it. They just kept them hid away, you know, somewhere in the house. You know,
Yeah.
you very rarely saw them, but that was my view of folks. When you said somebody had mental illness, hey, they just crazy.
Yeah.
You know, But once I got to know them and understand them and start working with people, I saw what mental illness actually was.
Okay. Okay.
You know, it's not that they're crazy. You know, they've had some type of detachment from reality somewhere, some type of trauma
Mm-hmm.
that has caused this.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
some type of trauma. It wasn't that this one day they just woke up and they were crazy.
Absolutely. Something
They
happened.
had some type of mental illness.
Yeah.
It was some type of trauma that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have to look at all the time. It's the trauma that goes along with this thing. There's something in a childhood happened.
Yeah.
Something, in adulthood that happened.
Right.
Something happened somewhere that
Mhm.
caused a real big disconnect with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now it's just getting them back on track.
Yeah, and sometimes that's a challenge, man, because the disconnect could have happened so long ago that
Right.
the wall now is so thick,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been
Mm-hmm.
functioning with that disconnect for so long.
Right.
That's their new normal.
Right.
And
Because I
now,
can sit down and I can have a conversation with somebody and we're talking like me and you talking. The next thing they know, they talking about caterpillars and butterflies while we sitting there talking. And I'm like, okay, well, where did this come from? But I'm going to still hold a conversation with you.
right?
And get on to what we need to get to. And I'm going to reel you back in to where we was talking about getting your medication, getting this done and getting this done. And you're telling me about, how you can do something, make rocket fuel. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to talk about that. Okay, that sounds good. But
Right.
when the last time you saw your doctor? When is your next appointment? When is this? When is that? How's your medication treating you? How are you feeling when you take your medication? Is that okay? Have you talked to your primary care physician about your blood pressure? Have you
Yeah.
talked to them about, so I'm having that conversation with them, but sometimes it kind of goes left, but you have to, just kind of stay in there with them.
Gotcha. Because do you deal with a lot of depression as well there?
Yes, yes. A lot of, I think the mental illness started out with depression
Okay.
and kind of escalated because, people are depressed and don't know they are depressed.
Yeah.
You know, I tell people that all the time. People are depressed that don't know they're depressed.
You're right.
There's a lot of signs or whatever that we just miss. And people are struggling just to try to make it. And these are normal people, normal everyday people that we don't say have mental illness. This is just normal everyday people that are struggling with depression.
You're right. You're right, because there's
You
so
know,
much
and-
pressure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right, and there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of things. You know, you can have a person, you know, that's been on a job for so long, and then he gets terminated, and then he ain't got nowhere else to go, nothing going on. So that starts that depression. That starts that slide. You know,
Yeah.
if they can't bounce back from that, that start that slide, and then you see them 2 or 3 years from now, you'd be like, wow, I wonder what happened to Joe.
Right.
And I wonder what happened to him. You know, he used to be such a prominent person. He used to have this, you know, like the folks in the hood say, they used to have it going on. I wonder what happened to him.
Yep. Yeah, but
Yeah.
something happened and triggered that disconnect.
Right,
It could
exactly.
Be it could be a job loss. It could be a family death. It could be any situation. You know?
Exactly.
And a lot of times we are so programmed. How you doing? I'm good, but on the inside, I'm all
That's
messed
it.
up.
I'm all messed up.
Yeah.
But we're happy to say in a minute, well, I'm good, and we keep moving.
Yeah, and then
so-
it keeps compounding. It keeps compounding. Today, tomorrow, this happens. So now I lost my job, bills behind, rent behind, finna get kicked out.
I lose my place to stay.
Yeah.
You know, my
Yeah.
job, my place to stay. Now I'm homeless.
Right. And so now
And
because
here we go. I'm homeless now. Now what do I do now?
yeah, and so now I guess having that society to look at you kind of beneath the line as a homeless person or mentally ill. I mean, just having that in your mind that people looking at me now because I am homeless, I am
Right.
I'm a little dirty and so forth. I'm not functioning. So now that pushes you even further, doesn't it? It pushes you further
Exactly.
away.
Exactly.
You know.
And so now trying to reach that person and bring them back.
Yeah.
You know, so hopefully they don't get in the substance abuse thing. Once we get into substance abuse, like I say, you bring it on a whole nother dynamic.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and I'll be honest with you, we talk about, you know, ladies, you know what I mean? We start working with ladies and they've been involved in prostitution, you know what I mean? And we have them ladies that's been involved in prostitution, you know, the substance abuse, prostitution and all of that, and mental illness.
Okay.
You know, so we have all that we need to deal with.
Man, that's a lot. But
all that we have to work with. We have to break down all those barriers.
Yeah. But you have to be, you have to love it though, man. You have to.
Yeah, you got to.
It has to be.
Like I tell everybody, this ain't for the faint at heart, and this is not for folks that's trying to get rich. It's not a get rich quick scheme. Trust me.
Right.
It's like I say, we doing all this without any federal funding. We're doing all this without any money. You know what I mean? So it's truly a ministry, and it's truly, you know what I mean. We survive it, but we're trying to make it work.
That's great, man. Because I remember I was teaching at the institution. There was one guy in my class, had been in my class about 2 years, but his whole stay of incarceration was 22 and a half years. His last 2.5 years was in my class with me, and then he got out of prison. He didn't want to go back to his local area because where he came from, because 22 years later, I'm like, who knows me? Nobody really.
Right, exactly.
Everybody now 22 years more. They just want sitting around wait till you get back out of prison. So they went with their life, and now that whole area is gone. So he wanted to kind of stay around town. So anyway, long story short, he got into a transition home because I knew a guy that was doing what you're doing here.
Right.
And he, but he never did embrace incarceration. He dealt with substance abuse and mentally ill. So so he started opening a gap now for incarcerated people. And so he brought him in and started dealing with him. And so I saw him out one day about 3 days after he got out of prison and took him to Walmart because he needed to buy some things.
Right.
And man, to take him inside of a Walmart and he just got out of prison, brother. I mean, you laughing now because you know.
I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. You know, like we use a smartphone every day like it's nothing. You know, my iPhone, I use it every day like it's nothing. I went to the bus station to pick a guy up that came from prison. You know, like you said, it's been 25, 30 years. He wanted to call somebody. I gave him a phone. He's like, okay.
What I do?
Yeah. How to make this work, you know what I mean? So that's the same thing, you know. Yeah. You have that.
Because we was walking in Walmart, man, and he's on eggshells. I mean, he's pushing the buggy real slow because, see, in prison, you got to walk the line. You know, if you step out across that line, you get rolled up. So he's walking.
Right.
And so I had to stop him. I said, listen, man, listen. I said, bro, listen. Nobody know you just got out of prison but you and me.
Right. That's it. Do your thing.
Nobody knows that, man. Nobody knows that. And then he kind of loose up a little bit, but you can still tell, man. We're talking about 22 years now.
Right.
And so,
exactly.
so now he's institutionalized. He's programmed.
Exactly.
And so, man, we got to the register, man, and started paying for everything. And the bill came to a certain amount, and then he looked back at me. I said, "We good, man. We good. And then
we good.
And then the lady, man, she went off on me and said, "Well, you shouldn't have bought so much stuff." I mean, bro, and I had to kind of calm him down because, see, that's a sign of disrespect in prison.
Right.
You know? So he was ready to respond. He forgot about 22 years of prison. He forgot about that.
Right.
So
he ready.
he fed do 20 more years, you know. So
Right.
So we get outside, man. And he said, man, she just don't know how close she was from me grabbing her because of his mental state, you know. So I'm sure you did. Do you deal with that as well?
All the time. All the time. You
Really?
know what I mean? It's like, hey, you know what I mean? Don't disrespect me like that.
Yeah.
You know, and again, you're talking to people like, say, people that have been incarcerated for long term, you know, and that's their issue when they get out. It's actually reintegrating them back into society.
Okay.
Getting them back where they're going. Because like you say, when they went to jail, you know, a hamburger probably was 75 cents. You know what I mean? Now you want $3 for a hamburger.
Yeah.
You know, hey, what's this? You know what I mean? So it's a lot different. It's a lot different. And just with the social climate, you know, when you're getting out of prison and you see all this going on with the social climate, you're like, man, what's going on with this? When it's a lot different. It's a lot different.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I was reading your pamphlet as well. I think it's on page 13 where it said, I used to be called an ex-felon, but now they call me sir. That's powerful,
right.
man. That's powerful.
That's real powerful. That's real powerful. And that's the power of this reintegration, and that's the power of programming and getting people back on their feet. I had one guy that came to my program and was basically, using this guy example right here. He had been in jail for 25 or 26 years. He was doing home invasions before home invasions was popular.
Okay.
Tying people up, taking their money, doing all this stuff. He was a young guy, straight out the military.
Okay.
He was a young guy back then. And they gave him so much time, and they told him what his conditions of parole was. When he came back, he couldn't even go back to his hometown.
Wow.
So his brother was a professor at one of the colleges out here, and somebody told him about me, and he called me and asked me, could he help me? So that's how he got with me. Now this guy is doing exceptionally well. When I say he's working, he's a manager of a company, he's doing a whole bunch of stuff. He couldn't imagine doing that 25 years ago.
Of course not. Yeah, of course
But
not.
he did what he needed to do. I mean, this guy's out, got a motorcycle, got a car, got a wife, got a house. He's doing well.
That's great. That's great. That's great.
He's doing well.
Yeah, because do you have people as well, man, that has, just like this example you just used, this individual here, do they come back to the house sometime and help and inspire?
Always,
okay.
Always. They want to come back, help, talk to people, you know, always.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing things, they've, you know, started businesses, they want to come and hire some of my folks. Man, you got some good people, let me know. I'll be more than happy to hire them, or, you know what I mean, to work with them, you know, to do different things.
Because that's what it's about, man. It's about bringing somebody into your program, changing them in another direction, and then don't just send them in the pasture, but come back and help somebody else out.
Come back and that's what they do, and they're happy to see them because some of them know them when they were in the program. They would just get there and they were leaving. Okay. And they ask about them all the time. Hey, have you seen such and such? When the last time you talked to such and such? Yeah. Or the person that's out will call and say, hey, how is, you know, such and such doing? How, you know, what's going on with them? They still up to that same old stuff, or have they changed any? Are they trying to do anything?
So is the city, man, there trying to support you all and trying to work with you all and say, hey, this is what they're doing, and they can save us money. I mean, the counselors and the people in the city are trying
Well,
to.
some are, and again, because you're looking at that public safety thing, a lot of the, like my houses, they say, yeah, we want you to do it, but not in my neighborhood.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all good what you're talking about, but not in my neighborhood.
Okay, I got you.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's fine. All this good stuff you're doing, but I don't want them next door to me. So that's the the zoning part we have to deal with. We have to deal with a lot of that. You don't so you put my people in the part of town that nobody really wants to live in.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't get my people over into the town where all the best services are.
Gotcha.
So yeah, all that sounds good. I mean, we want all of that. We for all of that.
Yeah.
Just not in my neighborhood.
Right. It's just like I don't want my daughter dating him, or
Yeah.
it's okay for your daughter to date him, but not my daughter.
Not my daughter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
until one of those persons, family member become ill, one of the family members go to incarceration, it's gonna
Right.
give them a different perspective now.
They give them a different
Hey,
perspective. Then
you
They have
can
a
put that
different
house
perspective.
right next to me now because my
Right.
sister. You see, but right now it's a different thing.
That's a whole different issue. I just don't want it in my neighborhood. We've had to go to city council meetings. We've had to do a bunch of stuff because we've had houses in really, really nice neighborhoods.
Yeah.
We've been on the news. People done called the news. People have the city councilman coming out there, have everything. Like, hey, but the federal government says our people have a right to live just like everybody else. Fair housing says they can live anywhere just like anybody else can live.
Right.
So we have to go through all of that sometime.
Man, so it's just a lot of challenges on the back end for you.
Oh, it's a lot of challenges on the back end.
Yeah.
That's a lot of challenges. And because like you say, people want to help, but they just don't want the help in their neighborhood. And,
Wow.
you can kind of understand that,
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of understand that,
Right.
A lot of the services that, the city utilizes, the ambulance, the fire, paramedics, and all of that. So you got my people in your neighborhood, we're going to use those services. I'm like, I got 8 people in the house, 7
Yeah.
people in the house, 6 of them's in wheelchairs and, things like that. The medical health is not good. So we might have ambulances coming, 2 or 3 times a week,
Right.
So that's a disruption in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Something happened at the house, they get get rough with each other, whatever. Somebody call the police. Here they come, 4, 5 police cars,
Yeah.
So it happens. I mean, it happens. I can't say my people are the best, people in the world. Some of them are and some of them aren't because they're still, going to the next level, hopefully.
Of course. But
Trying to do what they need to do. So it's challenging on both ends. It's challenging for us. It's challenging for the city. It's challenging for law enforcement. It's challenging for everybody because they want to see, the change in the people. They want to see us being able to help people. But then again, they have the constituents in their ear saying, hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want this in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how they go. That's the challenge.
But as you keep pushing forward, you see results, man. You see the need to keep pushing. You see the need to keep helping, and you see people's lives are changing. So you just can't say,
Exactly.
man, I had a bad day, bump this, I'm done with it, because somebody's life is in the balance, man, because of what you're doing.
Exactly.
So the people that's in your facility now, if you wasn't there for them, okay, you'd have had 60 more people out there in the world
On the
somewhere.
street. Yeah. On the street, just roaming the street.
Yeah. And so because of your services there, man, it's vital. I'm sure you're not the only one in the area doing that. Is there other people
No.
doing the same thing you're doing too?
I had a meeting yesterday with 5 other providers.
Wow.
And we're just talking about different services that we can do differently, things that we can do better.
Okay.
And it's a community of us. And, if I have somebody that say, I got Joe Blow over here and he's not working right. He's not doing right. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's causing me grief. I said, hey, man, look, I got this guy over here. I just can't handle him. Could y'all, anybody, well, send him over here. I got, I'll see if I can work with it.
Okay.
So we kind of work like that as well.
Man, that's great. So you guys are not in competition, but you're networking.
No, we're networking. We network with each other because truth be told, there's enough business for everybody.
I bet
That's
so,
enough business
man.
for everybody.
Yeah, I bet so. So, who is this Elder Rollins, man? I've been reading about in your pamphlet. Who is Elder
Elder
Rollins?
Rollins came to my program after serving a long time in jail.
Okay.
He's on my staff now.
Really?
He's my guys. He does what you do. On Sundays, he still goes back to the prisons. He still ministers in the prison. He preaches out in the community now. He works. He's one of my I'd say one of my most valuable employees. I
Okay.
can count on him when I can't count on nobody else.
Man, it's good to have somebody in your
Because
pocket.
he's been there and he knows. He's been there and he knows.
Okay.
I can call him in the middle of the night. I'll be, hey, Mr. Rollins, I need you to go by such and such. Don't worry about it, Mr. Pugh. I got it. You know, and he actually lives in the neighborhood where the houses are.
Wow, that's great, man.
He actually lives there. He's right there.
Okay. Okay. So is all your houses in one location, or you kind of got them scattered, or what?
Kind of scattered.
Okay.
Scattered. I have 4 in one specific area, and then the rest of them are kind of scattered out in different parts of town.
Okay. 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 So what about your son? I see Ito Jr. Is he a part of it? Is he on the team
he
as well?
works for me. He's been texting me the whole time since we've been on this call. He wants something, but yeah, he works with me as well.
Oh,
yeah.
That's great, man. That's good.
Yeah, he
news to
works
hear.
with me as well. So hopefully one day he can take this thing by the horns, take it over, and keep it going.
Man, that's great news to hear, man. I'm so glad what you're doing, man. Hey, we've been sitting here an hour already. Don't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like it.
Man, but I really appreciate, man, you being on the show, man. Man, hey, I've been. Now, if people want to get in contact with you, I put your phone number up there.
That's fine.
I put your web address up there.
Okay.
And so that they can come in contact with you, man. And if nothing else, but support, support.
Anybody want to contact me? Anybody want to talk about this? Anybody want to whatever? Just call me. I'm more than happy to talk with you. I'm more than happy to mentor you. I'm more than happy to do anything with you. If you got a relative that needs services or whatever, just give us a call.
That's good to hear, man, because everybody needs some help every now and then, man. Everybody needs help every now and then. So, hey, man, I appreciate you being on the show, man. It's been a minute. It's been too long, man.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Man, it's been a long time.
We from the
when
Booker
I talked
T
to you
area.
the other day, it took me way back down memory lane,
But I'm glad for you, man, what you're doing. And, hey, I really appreciate you being on the broadcast, man. And like I say, we'll get you back on there because what I like to do, man, at some point in time is get you back with some of the people that's been through your program.
Oh, that'd be great, man. They would love to do that.
Yeah, and kind of display what the program has done for them, so they can see, some positive results of what you're doing. I mean, and I'm sure on that broadcast you ain't got to say nothing because that person's gonna be.
I won't. I'll just sit back and let them talk. They'll be more than happy to talk and tell you all about how they came through and what happened and how we supported them and how we, stood by them and helped them get to where they need to be.
Wow, that's good to hear, man. So like I said, I appreciate you, man. We're going to get you back on the show another time.
Okay.
And we're going to get you back, man, and talking about some things. So, hey, this is Pastor Jackson with the Empowerment Broadcast. Thank you for joining us tonight. Do me a favor, share this video. Others can watch it at leisure. And also go to our YouTube page as well so you can be notified of upcoming broadcasts. So until next time, this is Pastor Jackson at the Empowerment Broadcast. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.